Of all the 1500 extreme demons, which one is the easiest? This is a question that's been on my mind for a long time, ever since I beat my first extreme. This is because beating your first extreme is a big choice, and I want you to find out what level you should play. Let's get into it. Starting out with the most popular choice for a beginner extreme, Aku. Aku is a 2.1 extreme demon made and verified by... I'm not going to try and pronounce that. It's the most common first extreme because it has accessible and fun gameplay, and it's pretty mobile and 60Hz friendly. It currently sits at 1502 on the Irreddle. Despite how playtested and thought out the level is, it's pretty unbalanced. The hardest parts are the pre-drop and the ending, and yes, I do have an opinion on the difficulty because I did beat this level a while ago. So, is Aku the easiest? It's actually a good debate because I have a lot to say about the difficulty of this level. I actually struggled playing this despite the fact that I made most of my progress after I had beaten Bloodbath. Am I washed up? Probably. Like a lot of the time playing this from zero, I would just die to the pre-drop over and over again, then randomly get a run to like 70%, then get stuck in pre-drop purgatory again. And I know why this is actually. You see, there are two types of Geometry Dash levels, skill-based levels and linear levels. An example being Cataclysm and actually Aku. Skill-based levels like Cataclysm have lots of straight fly, choke points, and overall more simple yet harder parts. Now linear levels have lots of timings, memory in some cases, and overall more complex yet easier parts. Now I have a decent amount of raw skill in the game, but I am terrible at memory and linear gameplay, which is why I'm way better at Cataclysm than Aku, even though Aku is so much easier. So Aku trains you for linear levels and is overall more accessible for new players. But what about the other end of the spectrum, Cataclysm? So I have a very good history with this level. A very good history. Okay, seriously though, why does this have 100,000 views? Cataclysm currently sits at 1414 on the Irreddle. It's a 1.9 extreme demon by GG Boy that used to be the hardest level in the game back in 2015. It's extremely unbalanced, with the hardest parts being the first wave, the ship at 40, and the dual ship gap at 71. Most of the difficulty comes from straight fly, and yeah, the first wave. I'm going to talk about this a lot. It was actually buffed in 2.0, which added coins and unbalanced the level even more. In my opinion, this level is actually one of the best easy extremes, despite the fact that it's actually silent. The first wave, yes, I'm going to keep talking about it, has a 2-frame window for most of the clicks on 60Hz, which shocks me even more the fact that this got verified in 2.0. So I can easily say that this is not the easiest extreme, but in my opinion it is one of the best starter extremes to go for. So now, let's check Irreddle and see what the list thinks is the easiest extreme demon, and that would be Red World. Red World is actually the oldest rated extreme demon, made all the way back in 1.8. I guarantee you there's at least one person watching this video that is younger than that level. It's really unbalanced, with most of the difficulty coming from the last ship. The balancing on the level is so bad that even something like Cataclysm is somehow more balanced. The easiest part is easier than the easiest part of Cataclysm, and the hardest part is harder than the hardest part of Cataclysm, somehow. Despite it being pretty bad, I think it's actually a really cool level. It was one of the first levels to use the old swing game mode, and it introduces it really well. It first shows up at like 40%, and it's pretty easy, followed by a much harder and slower swing after it. Then, near the end of the level, there's a much harder and longer swing part that goes until the last ship. Now, I haven't beaten the level, but I have it in around 3 runs, and I know how to play every single part. And to be honest, this level should not be so low on the list, man. Sure, most of the level is really easy, but the last ship and the fact that the level is pretty buggy means it is way harder than you would think. So, is this the easiest extreme? No, definitely not. So then, what is? Out of all the levels in this video, I would have to say... Aku. It has the most accessible and easiest gameplay, however, it might not be the best option for you to go for. Compared to Cataclysm and somewhat Red World, the gameplay doesn't really push you or make you any better at the game. I definitely think it is a level that you should beat, but not as your first extreme demon. And as for Red World, don't touch that level.